Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thanks to Clarion Events for organizing this. Today, I'd like to quickly, sorry, I'm going to use these two. We're going to talk about what it takes to drive adoption of mobile financial services. There are plenty of technologies in the market. Right? We heard how Switch works. We all know how mobile wallets work. But there's something that's still missing in terms of consumer adoption. So, like everything else, plenty of statistics, a lot of data, a lot of information. But starting off, it's live in 89 different countries today, MFS, and there are over 250 mobile money services that are live today. However, there are still 2 billion people that do not access mobile financial services. 2 billion people, they're still underbanked, unbanked. And imagine that 89 countries, we have it live, 250 installations or services that are up and running. There are only 300 million people that actually have mobile money accounts, and 103 billion are active. Majority of them, of course, are from Africa. M-Pesa, everybody knows about it. They took the scales, right, because of the 103, mostly it's from there. So why is it that the industry is actually stuck here? Right? One of the things that we've seen here is consumer confidence. It said there are plenty of technologies. There's mobile wallets everywhere. There's systems that are there. The thing that's missing is consumer confidence. The other thing that we talk about is interoperability. Systems need to learn to talk to each other. Technology and innovation, you see a lot of booths here. You see plenty of technologies. FinTech, by the way, is one area. It's the hottest area. I'm from Silicon Valley. The maximum amount of venture capital funds are going into FinTech other than biotechnology. Right? There's problem around distribution access. Right? Understanding how the concept of distribution economics work. Now, how do we get agents working to actually provide mobile financial services? And of course, there's a regulatory framework. So one of the reasons why we feel, we have 250 installations and services today, 89 countries have mobile financial services, some form of mobile financial service working, there's still 2 billion people that do not have access. These are some of the main reasons why we see that people are still not adopted. There is no thriving ecosystem. You have wallets, but the wallets cannot be used anywhere because there's no ecosystem that exists. There's no regulatory framework. Regulatory frameworks are not friendly enough to promote mobile financial services, even though technology exists. But the bottom line is, do we invest in this market or not? Do we care about this market? Is this market going to take off? One of the things that we've seen is the growth in the middle class economy. They're going to be the key drivers of it. And then the smartphone penetration. The millennials that are coming in, they're growing on a completely new set of technologies. They're connected, they're hyper-connected. Facebook already has 1.5 billion accounts. Right? It's bigger than China. Right? It's its own country. So there are people that are getting socially included. They're growing on a new technology, they're hyper-connected, and they're all very ambitious people. If you go to India today, it's got one of the largest youth population and largest labor market. They're young, they're active, they're ambitious, they're educated, they're working, but they don't have access to a reasonable banking system. Right? So all the trends are pointing in the right direction. So now, what can we as an industry do to improve adoption? And here's one, from Amdocs' perspective, our vision is this is not just about simple financial inclusion. Everybody says about financial inclusion. What is financial inclusion? Yes, you have a phone, you can top up your phone, right? very basic service. You can do cash in, cash out. One of the problems is the moment the money comes into the wallet, the first thing a consumer does is they go and cash out. It defeats the whole purpose, because mobile financial operators, if you really want to make money, you've got to figure out a way to keep the money within the system and increase the velocity of the flow of money within the system. So if you look at the industry today, we're kind of stuck somewhere in the basic money transfer. We've not yet gone into merchant payments. Right? I can have a great mobile wallet, I can do basic cash in, cash out, but the reason I cash out right away is nobody accepts mobile money on the merchant side. So we have to develop a merchant, we have to have an ecosystem where merchants start accepting. Even credit card, even the card companies that are there, it took them a long time because it took them a lot of time to actually get retailers onboarded. One of the reasons Visa and MasterCard is an easy way out is because of the merchant acceptance. You have a card with Visa or MasterCard, it can be on American Express, it can be accepted anywhere. So one of the hurdles that we have to, as an industry, this is not about technology. Technology is important, is how do we improve merchant acceptance? And the next thing on top of it is value to consumer. Why must a consumer put money in your mobile financial services system? Right? They need to get something out of it, right? So there needs to be something, okay, can I save money? Is my money going to grow? Or is it a basic cash in, cash out like a mailbox? If it's a basic cash in, cash out as a mailbox, consumers will not see value. They would rather hold the cash as physical cash in their physical wallet, not a mobile wallet, and walk out. Right? And on top of it, you need to give access to credit. Right? It's always people's dream. What do I want? I want to be able to save money so that if I can get credit, I know I have an income, I have a stable job, I can repay this credit over a period of time. So there needs to be some form of wealth creation. So our hypothesis is it's not just about financial inclusion, it's about economic inclusion. It's more than just a simple cash in, cash out or a peer-to-peer transfer. It's more than that. It's about economic inclusion, give consumers access to credit, give consumers an option to grow their money. If you don't do this, then we're not going to see a lot of adoption. One of the things that we've seen is, first of all, as part of income generation process for the consumer, is improve the literacy, financial literacy. That's another huge hurdle, right? A lot of folks come in saying, what does it mean to make money and grow money? Right? How do you go through the process of wealth creation? Wealth creation doesn't happen if you just hold on to cash. Consumers need to know how to use this cash, how to budget their cash, how to develop the habit of savings, how can they get access to credit and use the credit to improve their livelihood and actually get into the process of wealth creation. So financial literacy becomes a very important point. The next one is actually the digital marketplace, as we call it, is the merchant acceptance. Teach them to learn to use the money in places, right? Even if it's mobile wallet or whatever you want to call it, where can they go and actually use it? What's the point in having a mobile wallet if I cannot go to a shop and pay using my mobile wallet and not even get a can of milk? Nobody's going to use it. So what does the consumer do? The first thing they do is they go find out the nearest cash out point and take the money out. Defeats the purpose. Right. And the other one that we like to talk about is we said savings and the discipline of savings is actually helping them understand that if they go through the process of savings and actually build a history of cash flow within their accounts, they can get access to credit. I'm not talking about home loans or car loans, simple microcredit, micro loans for their livelihood. Right? It becomes very important. And one of the places where micro loans and group lending actually becomes important, which we've observed is 90% of the businesses worldwide. This is a statistic from ISO. Right? I said there's plenty of statistics that's floating around. It's what do we do with these statistics? What do we do with all this data? How can we make it actionable? How can we make this mobile wallet usable? How do we make this financial network that we're building usable for the next 2 billion people, not just get them financially included, but economically included? One of the things we notice is 90% of the businesses are small businesses. In a lot of the countries, over 65 to 70% of the income is generated through small businesses. And what we've also observed is there's a huge intersection point between consumers and small businesses. It can be a business of one. Right? It's I run a shop, I'm a small business owner, and I'm also an individual. Right? So how can we actually look at them holistically and say, how can we provide products, financial services products, with the help of the new mobile wallet technology to improve their livelihood? If we provide comprehensive solutions like that, we believe we can actually improve the adoption of mobile financial services. And I surely bet in a couple of years, we'll see a larger audience where we'll be talking about a new set of problems on how do we cope with this kind of demand. Right? And this is what we've observed this across the world. We've seen it in India, we've seen it in Africa, we've seen it in South Asia. And I'd like to run a quick video of what we observed as a case study in Indonesia. I didn't want to voice over that because I wanted folks to observe what's happening. Ibu Gusti, she runs a shop in Indonesia, as you saw. And she has what we call, she's the product approver. She runs out of money in the first 25 days. And then to cover her working capital for the last 5 days. Her working capital is not only for running her business, but also to run her family. And then she gets hounded by the loan sharks, who charge 70 to 80% service fee or interest fee, you call it whatever you want, right? It's an informal system. So when she goes through this process, there is no way she's going to get out of a debt spiral. So if we want to go ahead and offer Ibu Gusti and tell her, I have a mobile financial services product for you, start using my mobile wallet, her question is, okay, how is it going to help me get past my livelihood? Right? That is the issue. So it's not just about make it easy, touch, smartphone, plenty of devices, that's not the issue. Plenty of systems in the market, that's not even the issue. How do we actually provide comprehensive value to consumers if you really want to see adoption? And in this particular case, Ibu Gusti is not only an individual, but she is also a small business owner. So when we want to go off of products, not just, they don't care about if it's if you say, tell them it's secure, it's on the cloud, don't worry about it, it's available anytime, anywhere. Her question is going to be, I run a shop, can people come to my shop a lot more, buy a lot more goods? If I put my merchant account with you, mobile financial services provider, what benefit are you going to provide to me? Right. That's what we have to answer. If we do that, we'll be in a much better place in actually solving the problem of not just financial inclusion, but getting them economically included. So about economic inclusion. So how do we turn this vision into reality? Our focus is, if it's what we call as Bank 3.0. Here's where the convergence of telecom, retail, and banks come into picture. What do we mean by that? We have to rethink how the rails of banking works today. The banking model, as we know it, is targeted towards the top 10%. We set up a retail outlet, which is probably the most expensive operation, and then we expect people to come to the branches, deposit money, and it is also, the financial services products are geared towards serving the top 10% of the population. And we're talking about the middle to the bottom of the pyramid, so how do we serve them economically and be profitable? Our point is, you need the agility of a telecom, you need the governance model of banking, and you need the innovation of retail. You bring all these three together, you're going to have a winning proposition that you can take to the middle to the bottom of the pyramid and actually run a profitable operation. So for this, you need a provider who can actually, help you rethink how do you do origination, how do you do customer acquisition, how do you support customer operations, how do you build a distribution channel, an effective distribution channel. How do you make sure that this distribution channel is a reliable distribution channel so that they can act as agents and they know how to do working capital management? What kind of products, we're not talking about mobile wallet products, what kind of financial services products we can provide to these consumers or small business owners? Right. Do I look at this person as an individual or a business? Or they are one and the same? How can I use the business as a collateral to actually provide them loans to get past, to help them with working capital management so that they don't get hounded by these loan sharks and they get up and they don't fall into the debt spiral that they'll never come out of it. Right? How do we prevent that from happening? How do we improve risk and fraud management? How do we improve risk management of this? If I know that this person is not only an individual, but they're also a small business owner, because what does the statistics say? 90% of the businesses are small businesses. Over 65 to 70% of the income generation, even in this 65% that I'm talking about is in the United States. 65% of the income generation is from small businesses. It's through small businesses. So when we look at them holistically, we can come up with better risk models to serve them. And when we talk about loans, let's rethink loans, simple loans, microcredits, microloans. For the lady we're talking about, Ibu Gusti, if I knew that she's actually running a shop and she generates so much cash in terms of running her business, and if I know that this is normal cash flow she's got, I can come up with a better loan product. I can understand her risk profile, her usage, and come up with a better loan product. Give it a 10%. 10% is still a better interest rate than a 60 to 70%. That's the only one that she knows about. We do this, we can improve adoption of mobile financial services. So you need a provider that can actually help you think holistically, and this is what we've been doing in Amdocs. We're fortunate enough to have customers worldwide. We operate in Indonesia, we operate in Philippines, we operate in Africa, also in Latin America, and we're also focused on improving flow of money between developed to emerging economies. You got to think, how do we get cash into the system? How does income generation happen? When people get their monthly salaries, get the cash into the wallet, and then provide them options to do savings, give them savings goals. Tell them, hey, every time you get salary, just put about 3% of your salary as a savings goal, a separate account. Once you reach your target, now I know that you have a decent amount of money, I will give you a small loan on top of it. As long as you keep continuing to have your cash in, all your income coming into this wallet. So these are the kind of services you want to be offering, and this is what we've been doing for the last 12 years. And we've been fortunate enough to have these customers, and our focus, right, has been to provide a comprehensive solution, not just a simple digital commerce, which is peer-to-peer payments and merchant payments. We also look at money transfers, not just domestic, but also international. It's not just, like I said, for us to have a comprehensive economic inclusion. It's not just a financial inclusion which starts with a digital commerce. It's not just flow of money coming in as cash in from remittances, but also the next generation banking, as we call it. We call it payments bank in India, we call it digital banking. We just have to provide products, financial services products to these consumers where we provide significant value, not just, I sorry to keep repeating this cash in, cash out, not just a cash in, cash out through a mobile wallet. Right? We've got to provide value. What is the value? It's providing them, helping them improve their financial literacy, giving them financial services products like savings goals that will actually get them to be eligible to get credit or loans. Because that's when they see value. They say, okay, now I can improve my livelihood. Now here's a provider that actually cares about me and my business, and they know what they're doing. They have a good system that works everywhere. It is secure. It is great, but they actually do care about me. And if we provide products like this, and if you want a technology provider that can provide you the whole infrastructure, we're here at your service. Please come and visit us in our booth. Download the wallet application. You can see this in action. You can see how a day in life of a consumer in emerging markets work. Thanks. I appreciate your patience, and I look forward to seeing you at our booth.